Joining us now, Democratic member of the Homeland Security Committee, Senator Ruben Gallego of Arizona. Morning. He is an Iraq war veteran. Good morning, Senator. We have a lot of ground to cover with you, but let's just start right there. Your thoughts on the president's Middle Eastern trip, but also the idea that he might accept this plane from one of the countries he's about to visit.
Well, look, this is just outright corruption. The fact that this plane is going to also go right to the Trump library afterwards, that's just a basic bribe. And I'm glad that he's going to the Middle East. We always want our presidents to do well, to be able to go and have good relations with, allies and people that want to invest in the United States and people that base, tens of thousands of our troops. But at the same time, you shouldn't be selling out this country for your personal or your family benefit.
Yeah. Go ahead. Senator, you're releasing a comprehensive immigration plan aimed at overhauling the country's border processes. The five-point plan embraces some of the president's border security priorities while expanding pathways to citizenship and refugee acceptance. Tell us more, and how possible are these concepts?
Well, the most important thing is I wanted the Democrats to have something to center themselves, because we don't want to just be the party that is always saying that Donald Trump is wrong. Right. We have to actually have a real conversation what border security looks like from a Democratic perspective. And one of that is to start is that we do want a secure border. And we want a secure border that it's being done by professional civilian authorities, not the military, because that's not sustainable in the long run. It's also a realization that we're not going to be able to legally bring in or make, the people that are here in this country, the 8 million people here, full citizens. So I actually bring down who actually has eligibility for citizenship to dreamers, to people that are that have served this country, and the wives and spouses of U.S. citizens, while being realistic that the millions of other people that are in this country illegally do want some level of stability, right? So we're offering, for example, visas so they could actually be here and work, and get out of the shadows. But overall, what this is a message is for Democrats to be able to take out into the road, talk about where a real Democratic proposition is when it comes to border security. And it first starts with us understanding that the American public wants a secure border, whether Democrat, Republican, or Independent. And that's why I was able to win in Arizona in a year where the Democrats did not do very well in Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly two things can be true at the same time. You want a strong border, Molly, and at the same time, I think politically there might be some opportunity here for Democrats, because I'm not sure it's working for Republicans. A lot of the videos that you see on social media of these ICE raids, we're working to corroborate a situation out of Worcester, Massachusetts, a couple of Massachusetts cases that just look horrendous. And people close to the president have told me that taking babies or ripping babies out of the arms of mothers, and these videos are exactly not what they wanted. They wanted to be focused on criminals. That doesn't appear to be what's happening, and I think these videos have a strong impact, Molly, on what the public feels about this president's policies.
For sure. And actually, Ruben, I was curious, you are one of the few senators who won there are Gallego Trump voters, which a lot of these Democrats won because the Trump voters left the bottom of the ticket blank. But you actually were able to thread the needle. So explain to us how you did it.
Well, just kind of what, just going on what Tamika just said, what I knew in talking to voters in Arizona, especially Latino voters, is that they wanted border security. What they didn't want is exactly what they're seeing right now. Families being torn apart, due process just being thrown out the window. People that are here legally right now and that are in the process of getting their green cards are getting separated. That's not what they want. And this is the reason we're releasing this plan, is so Democrats can actually point to something and say, this is what a real bill looks like, that provides border security, a humane process for people to stay in this country, while at the same time being realistic also about our broken asylum system, so it's not ever abused again.
Senator, I was looking at your five-point plan. It's eminently reasonable. You know what has happened historically with eminently reasonable comprehensive immigration reform plans. They die. I mean, why is that? And do you think that finally now we're ready to do some kind of obvious things that need to be done.
I think one of the problems that we've always had is when dealing with the comprehensive immigration reform plan, it was designed to be all-encompassing, but it wasn't actually designed politically to pass. So we've been so focused on this massive bill instead of actually trying to figure out what politically can work first. The most important thing, though, that we need to do is establish that Democrats are for border security. Because if you go out and you survey Americans, they don't trust Democrats when it comes to immigration reform or border security, because we've always had this feeling that it has to be either or. No. Border security itself is a good value that Democrats should be standing up for. We should do it in a comprehensive way, something that's respectful of rights, making sure that it's not a overblown government project. But that will actually get us more people willing to listen to us. And this is what happened in Arizona. We focus a lot on border security, on the need to hire more Border Patrol agents. And Democrats should own that space, the fact that we do want a secure border. Once we do that, it's going to be easier for us to pass modest piece of legislation. And we have to go in a modest manner because we need to get the American public to understand that immigration reform is not going to destroy this country. As a matter of fact, it'll make us stronger. But we should accept the fact that we should do it in a piecemeal fashion so people can actually start feeling the positive effects of it.
Senator Gallego, Arizona, of course, a battleground state. So is Pennsylvania, a state that you visited recently, a long way from home, many have noted. What brought you to the Keystone State recently?
Well, I got the invite, to be honest. Look, I have been invited to a lot of swing states and different parts of the country to be a keynote speaker. And this one actually happened to work for my schedule. I was able to go and turn around and come back and spend Mother's Day weekend with my wife and my kids. So that's the honest truth. And the secondary, look, I want a message to be out there that the Democratic Party is the Big Ten party. We need to be inclusive. We need to be pushing new ideas because I think the person who's going to run next time for president, that's not going to be me because I know you're about to jump to that question, needs to have that perspective in order for us to win in 2026 and in 2028.
Senator Gallego declares that he is not going to be running for president in 2028, but we'll watch his itinerary to see if any stops are added in New Hampshire, Iowa, and the like. Democratic Senator Ruben Gallego of Arizona, thank you as always for joining us this morning.
Have a good one.